Hello, my name is Victoria Ingram, and my pod for EH50 was Pod E. And for our EC6 lesson plan, we use the HSS 2.3 content standard saying students explain governmental institutions and practices in the United States and other countries, with emphasis on number one, explain how the United States and other countries make laws, carry out laws, and determine whether laws have been violated and punish wrongdoers. The learning objective we created as a whole goes as scholars will be able to explain how the United States and other countries make laws, carry out laws, determine whether laws have been violated, and punish wrongdoers through mind maps, outlines, or diagrams with a 7 out of 10. And we used Bloom's applied. The level of the learning objective is understanding. So we went throughout engagement, exploration, explanation, elaboration, and evaluation to determine how we are going to put emphasis on the understanding component of this learning objective. For engagement, it'll take about 10 minutes, and we suggested the teacher can present strategies such as think, pair, share to have the students engage with each other on what they are going to learn from the lesson or what they have learned already. The reasoning behind this is the lesson will include collaboration discussions with their groups, and since the students may lack in a particular subject of history, students are able to discuss among their peers on their knowledge. Applying this can also help improve students' communication skills and gives them practice to develop critical thinking skills. In the exploration portion, which will take about 10 minutes as well, the teacher can ask the students to create some kind of diagram, outline, or mind map by exploring internet sites provided by the teacher. Students are able to share their findings with classmates to compare and show their points of view on the subject, maybe through a group discussion even. The rationale for why we decided on this is because this portion of the lesson allows the students to learn things on their own and research information. It allows for a more fulfilling experience when they are able to find out interesting information that interests them. Therefore, they are also able to interact with each other and learn from each other by sharing their own points of view on this particular subject. For explanation, it'll take about 10 minutes as well, and the teacher can introduce and explain vocabulary with their definitions. For example, the definition of words students might have encountered, such as government or law, in a way that makes sense for the grade level. The teacher could also ask, does anyone know what a law is? And start a conversation with the class that can help them learn and understand the definitions to enhance their understanding. In this part of the lesson, this section, we're going to explain why we did what we did, and it is for the teacher to elaborate on the definitions and terms that might have anything to do with the subject. That'll help students start connecting ideas with the lesson and help them be able to explain what they're learning either through experience or their own personal research, and of course support their explanation through the evidence that they are now taking in. For elaboration, it'll also take 10 minutes. Here, the teacher can use students' prior knowledge to introduce a topic. Our learning objective is to explain U.S. laws. Therefore, a teacher can ask his or her class, what is a law? And also, it's very important to take note, like understand what age group you're working with. Here, we decided it's going to be second grade. So it's important to make that note, how you're going to use a second grader's prior knowledge to connect this standard and learning objective. The rationale behind the elaboration, it'll introduce new skills, Labels and definitions. If a student answered his or her teacher that a law is a rule, a teacher can build on this and introduce a standard in a way that makes sense as a whole. The teacher will continuously check for understanding and ask open-ended questions in order for more voices to be invited to the conversation. For our final E, it is evaluation, and we agreed that this is going to take place throughout the entire 50 minutes of a class period. And at the beginning of this lesson, the teacher can survey the students and see if they know anything about laws. Scholars, by a raise of hands, do you guys know what laws are and what they do? During the exploration stage, the teacher can ask students on a one-to-one basis what their point of view is and why they think so based on their previous experiences. Here, a teacher can call on their previous knowledge and kind of even elaborate as well as evaluate. Continuing on, the teacher will probably ask, so why do you think laws are both good and bad? Have you ever experienced or seen someone break the law? At the end of the lesson, the teacher can ask what new information was learned about the laws. All right, so I'm going to draw sticks and we are going to share what we learned about the laws. It's a simple way to call out students and have them share their own perspective. This is sort of like a popcorn read. It gets kind of everyone involved. At the end of the unit, the teacher can give them a summative assessment of laws. And you can base this on 10 questions, and it could also be your exit ticket out the door. So overall, evaluation is about making judgments and keeping track of what your students learn. This is very important for ongoing in their classroom experience.